Good evening, everyone. My name is Dancing Banana. I am here with Nivex, and welcome to week 8 of the MCC. Nivex, how are you doing?
I am doing well. All things considered, I'm a little upset because yesterday was something. I don't know if anyone watching was here yesterday. We had some crazy games that I was unfortunately unable to be there for, but that's besides the point because we have a game going on tonight, which is OKWU versus Texas Tech.
Yeah, that is correct, and I'm going to be real excited for this game. But before we jump into this game and talk about further, we got a little announcement to make. Coming up for the end of the season, we are nearing this postseason time. There will be a fun little event that we're going to be saying is the All-Star Game. Pretty much every team will be submitting a player of their choice to participate, and we'll be doing some events. We're going to have like team captains and whatnot, and a mini little tournament just for the fun of it. However, the teams and all that stuff will be more to come in the future. So in the meantime, let's focus up on this game. OKWU, Texas Tech. Both of these teams are fighting to get that number 2 seed behind CSUF, where the loser of this game will also drop to the 3rd seed and will be tied with the winner of University of North Texas versus Clemson. That'll be happening on a different day this week.
Yeah, well, and I mean, you just mentioned CSUF. Obviously, they're the number 1 in the Southern Conference right now. But both of these teams have played against CSUF, and out of both of those games, only Texas Tech has taken a game against them. So, maybe that's something to think about, because obviously, in a little bit we're gonna throw our predictions out there and all that fun jazz. But maybe that's something that is, looking forward in the future, because obviously right now we're gonna be like, a lot of these games are gonna start determining some of how these playoffs are gonna round out.
Yeah, 100%. And as we're talking about this, there's a lot of things to take from both of these teams. I think one of the big ones I want to talk about is just in general the shooting of Texas Tech. I think that's one of the big things that I'm going to put as like somewhat of a question mark. I think is a better way to put it. Texas Tech, they're a very low shooting team, less than 6 shots per game, 5.9, third lowest in the entire league. But they do make it up with a 40% shooting accuracy, which is by far the first in the league. So they put the shots in, they just put very little in. Could you look at that as just like they know when to take their time? Sure, but at the same time, they're not really putting pressure then. So we'll see what it is. But it's also coming against an OKWU team who is a very high saving team, right? They have the second highest shots against in them per game, even though they don't actually have one of the highest goals against. So that works out for them. So we'll see if Texas Tech's shooting style helps them out.
Well, and I think in this case, it might be good to point out that OKWU also has a decent shooter on their team. Knight is their main scorer, 9th in the league as of now, with about 1.17 goals per game. But there are some questions on whether or not maybe a team that's constantly on defense is gonna maybe get messed up with some demos by chance. That's something that we're gonna have to see. That's something we're gonna have to watch for in these matches, because I know that both of these teams, and I know especially as we were looking over some stats for Texas Tech, that a lot of those players are pretty well set in stats, not like shining through in a brilliant way, but still in the consistent above average. And one of those, I believe it was, I forget whether it was Moose or one of the players, has a decent amount of demos per game or in total.
I believe
Which
it was Slism.
it was Slism. Okay, then that's something that maybe this OKWU team might need to be worried about.
Yeah, but I think we're about to get into this game here. But I think let's talk about our Preds. Who do you think is going to win this, Nivex?
Who do I think is going to win this? You know what I think this game is? I
What do you
think this game is a coin toss. So I'm going to agree with the coin, whatever the coin says.
What does the coin come out to? I want to hear
What
the coin
does the coin
first.
come to? Oh, okay. You want to hear the coin first?
Yeah, I want
Okay,
to hear the
I'll
coin
flip it.
first. I want to hear
Okay,
the coin.
we got OKWU. Obviously, y'all can see it, but we got OKWU on the blue side, Texas Tech on the orange side. Give it a flip. The coin believes in Texas Tech, so I believe in Texas Tech. The coin is doing better than me in predictions, so I'm gonna sit there and say obviously it's doing something right.
Well, everyone else, for people who don't know, there's currently prizes going on between other production members, Fast and Park specifically. They both also bet on Texas Tech. Unfortunately, I will not be completing the curse today. I was going for OKWU in my heart, in my mind, and I'll be sticking with them. So 1-4 on the desk, and we will be joining this game soon enough.
Well, hey, at least it's not a curse. At least it's not a curse, because we have done that. We have definitely done that. But we're talking about predictions. We're talking about, possible curses and all that. But we got a game to play. We got OKWU versus Texas Tech happening right now.
Yep, and right away, we got Texas Tech on the orange half, on their defense right now. OKWU on the blue. Instantaneously boost with the control. Gets a 50 off from Knight, but Chili puts a shot on directly. Early shooting from Texas Tech, though. Easily saved, and I say that. There's another shot comes out. Knight has to make a little awkward save, though. Does well. Teammate to clear it out. And instantaneously, Texas Tech put on a shot early and has the pressure going on. OKWU on the defense where they're familiar.
Yeah, well, and I think right now Texas Tech seems to have, I don't want to call it like a solid spell of games back-to-back so far starting off this conference. I can't say I fully know the same for OKWU, but I would like to think that Texas Tech kind of has a little bit of a momentum or a little bit of like push coming into this match. And so far, obviously we're getting a little bit of back-to-back here, but Texas Tech, a little bit of an awkward pinch there, definitely showing up, and hopefully they're here to show out.
Yeah, right there. There's a demo from OKW to make sure Moose is out of the field, and suddenly there's an opportunity here. Skeleton Jack tries for the high, tries to go for a double with T-Chili, just sends it over to the side. And Kato gets a beat, and this stays on the Texas Tech half with the infield possible there. Not quite, but Knight, he's the next one to it. Doesn't put on target. Chili is just chilling out. Has to dodge a dem, but gets the boost in return, and suddenly this ball is out into the OKW half.
Into the OKWU half, and it will stay there for a moment. Knight with 0 boost there. T-Chili gonna follow it up, but not going to be something that'll convert into a goal. And in fact, it is going to maybe look at a possibility for OKWU here. T-Chili, last time just taking a shot on the net, now on defense here, but it seems like he wasn't the one that needed to get behind that.
Yeah, I mean, good play by NK there, out the corner, flips out, is able to read where it's going to go, Slism. If he left it, I don't know if NK actually could have scored it, but felt like he needed to clear that out, and just a dunk there by NK to get the first goal for OKWU. Right away, Texas Tech, they have something going on. Obviously, it doesn't work out there, but their offense has shown stuff, and we can see if anything goes on. But right now, Moose is going to keep on going, gets another big 50 up to the corner, trying to get a follow-up. Almost beats NK, but not quite. Slism infield to Chili, but he can't do anything as well. NK with the 0 boost, gets a high shot. Who's next? There's nobody there. NK doubles up his goals, doubles up the lead for OKWU. And as we see that, yeah, Chili just couldn't quite get there, and NK's just spawned it up, and Moose, he cannot reach there in time. And suddenly, 3 minutes left on the clock, and Texas Tech, their offense, where they're pushing a bit, has started to punish them. And again, they're back on that defense. They can't try to figure things out early, as they gotta worry about this. Slism gets the huge clear. He got possession. He's trying to get this, gets a bit of a 50. Gets the reset, actually. Doesn't get much off of it. Chili puts it back into the corner. Over to Slism, who puts it on the center, but no one's quite there. And NK, 0 worries from him. Moose, big challenge. Skeleton Jack, he is next. But right now, OKWU, they're on their back half, but the pressure's not too extreme, and even when it looks like something's about to happen, Skeleton Jack gets a big demo. The physicality here for OKWU is working out in their favor, taking care of pressure moments, but as I say that, Moose puts a shot on. Next person there is Slism. Low boost to a teammate, gets 50'd, and again, OKW is just figuring out where to place their car to make sure no shot is actually that dangerous. No boost or full boost. As we go, Skeleton Jack gets a good little touch, that's straight out. NK, just quick follow-up. Chili has to put it over to the corner. Moose is meeting already. Jack tries to 50, but it goes straight over. NK has to get the save to make sure that's not in. Does so. It goes straight to a teammate. I'm liking what I'm seeing from OKWU. They take these balls out, they're giving it to a teammate, and they can keep possession. Again, there's another one. Puts in a shot. Moose puts into the corner again. Texas Tech, they've been doing that as well, fairly well, but not to the extreme I think OKWU has. Right there, another shot opportunity. Knight. NK doesn't get the touch, now it's a Slism. It's going to be a 1v1. Tries to go for a flick. Not quite. Looked like he was trying to turn that into an air dribble, but Jack just jumps straight on it. Knight, he's next. Off the ceiling, can't do anything, NK. His turn. Goes infield. Who's next? Jack can't get the touch, and NK can't quite finish that off either, and now Moose. He's trying to get that out, but he can't. We are about to hit 1 minute on the clock, and this has not been anything for Texas Tech since the beginning of this game, it feels like. NK, another clear. Moose gets the challenge. Minute left officially on the clock, and Texas Tech, they gotta speed things up. There's another chance there as I speak, and Knight cannot. This is on the sidewall. Currently, we're looking at Knight another shout, and he does. He gets the flick over Moose, I believe, and it's 3 goals, and right now, there's not been an answer from Texas Tech. Knight, all the way from the back half, good possession, there's no challenge, it's a one-on-one, he is loving this. Knight, he has been the main scorer for this OKWU team with a 1.2 goals per game average. But right now, Knight, he's trying to go again. Can he get the double? Gets cut off by Slism. If there's going to be a chance for Texas Tech, it's got to be able to make sure none of those players get demoed. I was going to say about this offense, but OKWU, they're trying to deny it. Right now, okay, another middle shot, and Knight didn't put on target, but gets finished off by T-Chili there off the own goal, and this game is as good as done. Texas Tech, they got to go to the drawing board when they're coming to game 2. And now, at this point, just a kickoff, and these 30 seconds are purely formality. Texas Tech, they want to try to get the vibes up, but right now, OKWU is just going to try to make this more of a blowout, so shot opportunity to an infield, just for the fun of it. And nothing quite comes out of it. Slism just now killing the time. At this point, everybody knows it's over on the field. Texas Tech understands it. They've known for a good minute. But, okay, he's just getting one for the road. This guy gets his hat trick that he's looking for. He is 3 for 3. He's having a great time. Also, I want to talk about the other players on the field while we're here, and time's just got to be killed away. Knight is doing his absolute best on the defense. 5 saves. And 2 saves as well for NK, 1 on Skeleton Jack. 8 saves total for the 6 shots from... Oh, that was close. But 6 shots from Texas Tech, about their average they've been scoring, but 8 saves from OKWU. The math's not mathin', but sounds about right. But right now, I think the big question marks are going to be on this Texas Tech offense. They had their chances, but they've been unfortunately unable to actually capitalize when they had their chances. I think there were some big moments, especially in that first half, where they put shot after shot, low boost especially. I think the big one that stands out was, I believe it was the Skeleton Jack into a Knight, save into save. Both combined had like 12 boosts max. Should have been a goal most likely, but OKW, they like these situations. The defense is a place that they are comfortable, and they showed it this game in that beginning before they just eventually became that it's all well.
Yeah, well, and one thing that we somewhat alluded to at the beginning before we started getting everything run up was whether or not that OKWU defense was going to be able to hold strong. And I think, obviously, right now with 8 saves in a game, that's, I mean, you're the team that's up 5-0, and you're still getting more saves than, you know, the team that you're competing against. That's very well played. That's something that Texas Tech, as you said, they've got to figure out how to get past this defense that just seems to have all the answers right now.
Yeah, but right now we are off into game 2. The kickoff goes over to Skeleton Jack, who just clears it straight away. But Moose, he's there already. OKWU just playing possession ball. I think that kickoff was actually on purpose to a teammate, so like seeing a bit of the kickoff shenanigans, you know? We haven't seen much of them, I feel like, in the league, though other teams have been pulling them out more and more. But right now, OKWU, they've already got their foot on the gas right there. Another 52 people have to commit on the Texas Tech side. There's a bit of a team bump, but nobody is nearby, and Texas Tech get away with it.
They do get away with it, but it's not with the most comfort in the world. Yes, T-Chili is able to put it past right now, but it seems like Knight, he's going to be able to just recover this. And though NK doesn't have that much boost, he's still able to push it into the corner and still get something going. And nice demo there from Skeleton Jack to keep up this pressure, which, I mean, hey, right now it just seems like OKWU is the one that is able to do that, as this net almost has something put on it, a very close shot, but maybe this is a chance for Texas Tech to sort of return fire, as the ball will be put in this OKWU half.
Yeah, but I want to speak quickly on that Skeleton Jack demo. In general, Skeleton Jack's demo as a whole. I think in game 1, I think he got 2 of them, I want to say. And now obviously he got 1 in this game, but he's been pointing them out at the perfect times, taking out a player, messes up Texas Tech's rotations and their offense or defense as well. And they can keep up the pressure, and Texas Tech doesn't have an answer. This was one of the questions I actually had for OKWU, funnily enough, about, hey, are demos going to disrupt you too much? But in return, they answered right back with saying, can Texas Tech deal with them? The answer has been no, Texas Tech doesn't have an answer. But this game has been much better from Texas Tech. We are 2 minutes in, and there's been no goals for OKWU, and 0 shots actually from the OKWU half. Despite it feeling like that, when they're on the offense, they're a bit more suffocating.
They're on the offense, they're a little bit more suffocating, but I mean, we're getting a little bit of retaliation here going on. Obviously, again, this game has been back and forth, but, you know, 0-0, and the only shots that have come out have been from Texas Tech. They're, at least in this game, showing that they're here to play. At least, you know, a lot of the times, the first game can be a little bit of a warm-up, a little bit of a getting yourself used to it, you know. Don't know whether or not these teams had scrims before this, or if they had a sort of like dry run straight into it, but
Let go.
my apologies. I thought that that was going to be saved, but Knight has sniped the top left corner of the net.
Moose definitely should have saved that, but GG's go next if you're Texas Tech. You just move on from that goal. There's still half the game left. 1 goal is not impossible, but with how OKWU's defense has been holding strong, you gotta be a bit more worried, but so anything can happen. Right now, Chili, he's putting this over to the right side. Moose will be the one to collect. Heavy touch over Knight. No issues whatsoever to get a touch, though. That ball just kind of sits in the middle, and there's a trade demo which probably favors Texas Tech, though I say that they don't actually capitalize on it. But that upper right, there's another shot that comes out. NK with the in and out, and OKWU, they survive another onslaught that could have been a goal if anything went a bit better.
Yes, they do. And I mean, right now they only have 2 shots on net, and yet they're the only team that have scored. Right now, Texas Tech has double that, 4. They're obviously just doing something right. And I think that was off of a demo, if I'm correct. I did not see. I think it was Skeleton Jack on the backboard there. Just a beautifully lined up play.
Yeah, and I mean, Skeleton Jack, 94 points in the game, teammates are 400. Doesn't matter, this guy is facilitating so much off ball, and honestly, that's what you gotta do if you're this guy right now. You got 2 teammates you can trust heavily, though, right now. There's another bump from Slism that's trying to mess it up, but the shot was way too high. There's no issue there. Right now, Knight's trying to get it clear. Chili, this is going center. Who's next? Moose tries to get it under. Skeleton Jack, he gets his save, and suddenly, another good chance for Texas Tech, but even better defense from OKW.
OKWU, not to say proving us wrong, but slip-ups can happen, and in this case, if you're Texas Tech, you're not complaining.
Sorry, I thought we could talk about the game, but can we talk about, is that the Misfits goal explosion? Dude, I mean, fair enough, that's a fun team to bring out. But anyways, back on the game, 2-1. This is very doable if you're Texas Tech. First goal of the series, but it's got to feel good. Moose pre-jumping Knight's shot there. No issues whatsoever, though. There's another shot to go save. Chili gets it out. Gets a follow-up touch. Beats out NK. He's still on this ball. 50 goes high. Who's up first? It's going to be Skeleton Jack by a big mile. He's sticking on this Moose. He's on the slide wall. Gets beat out Skeleton Jack, though. Nobody's up, NK. He does, but it's not the best he needs. And Knight gets a clear over, but gets demoed in return. NK, though, and Skeleton Jack as well. They're going for physicality right now. Only 1 cost from 2, but it messes them up even further. 30 seconds remaining. Is that the goal? Yes, it is. And Knight might have just put in the security that they need for game 2.
Yeah, and I mean, again, in this case, that's Skeleton Jack. just causing chaos on the defense. This seems to be a reoccurring theme that this OKWU team has figured out, because I'm pretty sure that's a majority of their goals that have been a result of aggressive plays, and we're just going to add another one to the tally.
Yeah, I mean, what happened here, Skeleton Jack does a little bit of a fake, but there's a double commit on the Texas Tech side, and they lose out the 50, and yeah, that's just this over. 3 goals down, 20 seconds remaining. Nothing much if you are the Texas Tech team right now. You're going to go down 2-0 in the series, and you got to figure out a way to start the reverse sweep. I would say normally it's looking kind of hopeless for them, but this week, for people who haven't called in, every single game that's been streamed has ended up being a reverse sweep attempt. The first one, Iowa State, Michigan. Iowa State swept Michigan. Great game. Go watch it back if you can. The second game, Nebraska, Kansas State. Reverse sweep attempt by Kansas State. Lost in Game 5 to Nebraska. So, if you're Texas Tech, there's a pattern there. So, can't feel the worst in the world, but obviously you don't want to be down 2, which you currently are, but we'll see if they can reset the mental before the next game.
And I think that mental is very important. You provided a great transition to what I wanted to talk about. Right now, it seems like OKWU just has the number, right? Sometimes I feel like it's pretty bland to say that a team just knows what to do against another team. But right now, it seems like OKWU is doing just that. The only goal that Texas Tech scored was off of a misplay on the defense. Right now, their offense is putting on shots because they had more shots than OKWU this game. They had 8 shots on net, Texas Tech did, and OKWU had 6. There's a clear deficit. There's a clear, separation that doesn't seem to be making sense. And Texas Tech, again, they just don't know what to do with it. But as you just said, the mental right now is going to be the most important thing. They got to figure out how to manage some of these aggressive plays. They got to figure out how to manage some of these decent attacks that are getting put on net that right now they don't have the fortitude to handle. And they just need to figure out how to crack down on that.
Yeah, right now, though, we got a bit of server errors on the Rock League side that we're going to try to get resolved here quick. So give us a moment. But yeah, I think one of the big things I saw was that the boost gain and the boost lost. It's an interesting stat because it usually just talks about who's been constantly just moving around the field, making moves. On average, I think I'm seeing like a 500 boost difference in like pretty one-sided games. In this game, I saw nearly 2,000 boost gain difference. That's probably the most I've ever seen in any of these series. So, we'll see if something can be done about that. And we can see if something's going to be done about that in this game. But Texas Tech in general, I think my biggest criticism to them was, I think their defensive rotations at times look okay. But at times they look very spotty. Right? I think if those don't get fixed up, it's over. Simply put. Your offense, obviously, you're not getting the shots in that you want, but you are making chances. I think that's fine. You can make something work, right? It just puts a bit better shot placement and you'll be okay. Your defense, though, I think where the glaring flaw is right now, because OKW, they're not a heavy offense team, and that's, the fact that you're getting scored on multiple times in the game probably shouldn't be happening. Maybe it's OKWU turning a new leaf, becoming an offense team that's out of nowhere, but I don't know. But you got one more chance if you're Texas Tech. One life to go. So
one more chance, and then one more chance, and then one more chance. If we want to look at a possible reverse sweep here, but we got to get into game 3 before we can figure out whether or not that one chance turns into a one chance, turns into a one more chance. And that is what we're going to be starting up right here. We're going to have to see if Texas Tech can handle some of the aggression that OKWU is throwing their way, or if, as we start off with a decent possession from OKWU, if they can handle some of this offense.
Yeah, Slizzle, he was in the one-on-ones there. It's very awkward, but played that very well, though. Right now, Chili, he's last man back, goes for the fake challenge as the last guy. That is a risk and a half. Gets bumped though now with Skeleton Jack, and that ball is just a floater. Who's first? No one is there, and he's left it. But Moose tries to get past Knight, can't quite, gets 50. Chili now, he's taking a bit of possession, get heavy touch though, and Skeleton Jack just jumps straight on it. And there's a bump on the team side that actually okay. Slism gets bumped towards the ball, but already Texas Tech are jumping on top of each other, even if they don't get punished.
They are, but is that something that can hold on in the long term? Because right now, as much as there's a little bit of like back and forth that's going on in the midfield right now, that's definitely something that if you're Texas Tech, you got to start getting a good hold on, because that's where everything develops. That's where a lot of these aggressive plays are going to start coming from. As Skeleton Jack, he doesn't even need to be aggressive. He just finds a goal off of an awkward read on the defense.
Yeah, Chili, he just doesn't make the first touch, and he goes for the backwards, like, aerial, and doesn't get the touch he wants, and Skeleton Jack, he just cleans that up. It's 1-0 already for OKWU. This is a worse start than Game 2 for Texas Tech already, and again, Moose, he's on top of Chili again, and he misses the boost as well, and suddenly, it's awkward for Texas Tech. Right now, they're not communicating as a team, and if they're not going to communicate as a team, this is very well could be over very soon.
Be over very soon, and truthfully, having that first goal show up right off the bat is not good for the mental game. You know, you say, hey, guess what? We're going into Game 3. Obviously, things haven't started off the best way in the world, but we can get this next game going a little bit stronger. And already a minute in, you get a goal against you. That is something that, you know, we were kind of alluding to it in between game chatting, saying that the mental fortitude has to be pretty strong for Texas Tech right now, as this might be a breakaway opportunity for Chili, and we have a tied game.
Yeah, and I mean, fair enough, Slism, he gets the beat through one, gets the huge 50 on and Chili, he's steering their boost upfield, but he sees that ball coming his way and like, may as well just take it, and with that, it's all tied up. I don't know if they're going to get another chance like that. That was a very big Slism beats too, but those are the type of opportunities that they're able to secure now, and in the past they weren't able to do so, so that's a bright outlook. But right now, already back on OKW being on the defense. Boost opts to leave it for a teammate with more boost. There's a pinch. That's kind of no, Slim doesn't get touched. Moose though.
Oh, there it is.
A miss from the OKW, and Moose is able to clean it up, puts it to the right of all the defenders, and Texas Tech. That's their first lead of the series, I want to say.
I believe so. I mean, they say that whiffing is contagious. This was that was viral. I think that's the best way to say it. Texas Tech does go up, not in the cleanest way possible, but a lead is a lead.
Yeah, 100%. And Moose right now is trying to make sure that they don't lose this lead. Gets a good touch past Knight, who has no boost. Going to be very slow on the rotation. Skeleton Jack tries to get it out. Chili gets a little of a touch, but leaves it for a teammate. And right now, this teammate plays right now, right? These give it to another player who can like make a better opportunity. They've been successful. And right now, we're going to see if anything can come out for Texas Tech as they stay on this offense.
Well, and they need to maintain this offense. Right now, they can't be letting OKWU get any breakaway opportunities, any chances to develop what has been very strong against them right now, as a little bit caught up in the opponent's half there from all of the Texas Tech players. But so far, seeming like they're managing it decently well, as this ball will pop into the midfield. We'll see Chili zero boost here, still getting a decent 50, but NK can steal that boost, and is that something that might start biting back at them, as Chili still on zero boost, having to try and just clear that ball out. The boost management is not looking too great for Texas Tech right now, as Skeleton Jack tries to go for a double off of the side, or not sidewall, the side of the goal. Not coming through this time, but he will be up again, and Knight maybe going to try and see if he can go for his own. It's going to just prop right in front of the net, and NK able to dunk it in.
Yeah, I mean, that was just pure boost starvation that worked on the end, but I mean, OKW, they are trying to make this look way more extravagant than it needs to be. They were on zero. They knew that they were on zero of how low they were and how often they were stealing. Just need to put it high and they would have been good, but in the end, they get the goal, so no complaints, but a minute 20 tie game. Texas Tech still on the chance, but OKW brought themselves back into it.
themselves back into it indeed, and maybe we might see an opportunity here. We're going to see Skeleton Jack pass back
he
to
gets a pull up
NK,
night.
but at least a counter for the moment from North Texas Tech. Apologies, I'm getting my Texas confused in the heat of the moment, as this tied game is going to continue on under 50 seconds right now, and it seems like Texas Tech are kind of starting to get into the stage of just surviving.
Yeah, right now though, Chicho tries to put a shot on. Skeleton Jack actually gets a reset, tries to close it out, doesn't get anything out of it. NK clear out to the side to a teammate who has no boost actually, just has to air drill it past Slism, which he does so successfully, but again, no boost, heavy touch by Chili, he's gonna stay on this night, gets 50'd, and this ball is just out middles, Jack to the sidewall, Slism there, gets the 50'd hard, and suddenly that ball's over to the midfield line. Chili's gotta keep this one going, and he props it high, buys time, but here we go. 10 seconds left. Will anyone score? Or are we going to go to overtime? Moose, he's going to try to end this game in regulation. Gets another touch. Skeleton Jack gets the save on the Slism shot. But now NK, he's putting it midfield. It's too low for a teammate, and we are in overtime. Do or die for Texas Tech versus OKWU.
Do or die. And the first overtime of the series, too. This is not something that either team has had a chance to be comfortable and had a chance to, you know, see how overtime plays out, but it's not gonna last long.
And it comes straight from Knight with physicality. Physicality's been the name of this game. Knight demo on one, bump on the other. 3-0 OKWU, and it might have been a bit hairy in the final game, but in the end, OKWU, they get the sweep. And they move on to being the only second place team in the Southern Conference.
I mean, right now the entire league is a little chaotic. Maybe that's a light way of saying it, but right now, you know, you want to make sure that you're getting those wins. You want to make sure that you can solidify all the opportunities that you have to ensure that you are getting that good placement. And right now, OKWU is doing that. Right now, they have that beautiful standing in that top 4. Obviously, you're aiming for that top 4 in order to get into playoffs. But, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm yapping. But we might need to go ahead and have a chat with one of the OKWU players. Skeleton Jack is going to be joining us. Hello, hello.
What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How about y'all?
It's been going pretty good. Fun game to watch.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. I want to start off right away with the questions. Just on the playstyle, you guys are amping up the physicality throughout the entire series. I think you got like 2 demos in the first game. You got a bit more in the second. And in that third game, you properly were like just bumping them, getting demos, and just causing a bit of chaos. Like, was that just something you recognized early on, or is that kind of just something you just do in general?
I mean, I don't really do that, but the team, I mean, they're good, but I would say with the demos and stuff, I mean, there's no way they could hold on. So.
Oh, well, and I mean, that proved to be exactly so. You know, sometimes straight and to the point is the exact way to explain what happened. But I will say they obviously did not go down without a little bit of a fight. You guys did have a close game 3 there that pushed into an overtime. Were you guys, you know, still staying strong in your play style that has worked so far, or were there any changes that maybe you looked at?
I mean, we just kept doing the same thing. Made a couple mistakes. That's why we got scored on. But I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, you got the win here, but only 2 more weeks left in the conference play before playoffs is coming in. You guys are in a very good spot with your 4-1 conference record, putting you in the second place. Obviously, you only lost to CSUF, who are in first. But your next 2 weeks, you got Georgia Tech in Western Kentucky. I'm guessing you're feeling good about those games?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're really hyped. We're going to try and end the season strong, win out, and get up there on the leaderboard.
Wonderful. That is wonderful to hear. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll throw you one last question. Right now, obviously, you guys are in very good standings to possibly make it into playoffs. And I mean, we're in week 8 right now. We only have 2 more weeks until we start getting, the bracket that you have wonderful chances to get in. Is there any team that, you're looking at in particular when it comes to playoffs that, you don't want to go against, you're excited you might be able to go against, whether that's, someone in the Southern Conference or Northern Conference?
I think maybe one of the teams that I think we would like to play is Iowa State. I mean, obviously we wouldn't choose that, but if we had to, that'd be a good game.
Yeah, that would be a very fun game indeed, but we won't hold you any longer there. Thank you so much for taking the time with us, and congratulations on the victory.
Congrats on the win.
Right. Thank y'all.
Yep, have a good one.
Have a good one.
And with that concludes our game for the OKWU Texas Tech Face-Off. I would like to thank you all for joining us here tonight. I don't believe we have anything else we need to talk about in Nivex, do we?
No, I'm never predicting with the coin again. I feel like I've gone against the coin.
Was I the only one to win today?
You were. I feel like I've gone against the coin so many times, and it's won, and I'm just like, okay, fine. This is gonna be the one time that I agree with whatever the coin says, and then immediate sweep. So I think I've learned my lesson. The coin is a coin. It's only a coin. It has a better record than me, and it still has a better record than me.
No, you're doing better than the coin. You're 50-50.
I'm 50-50?
The coin's 38%.
38%? Okay, thank goodness.
The coin is now on an 0-6, is 6 in a row losing streak.
Oh, why did I side with the coin? Okay,
Yeah,
do you know what? I'm distracting from what we should be saying. Thank you guys for joining for this wonderful stream. We obviously had a nice game for you guys to watch, and this might be the last game of week 8, but guess what? We still got 2 more weeks to go for you guys. So make sure you're staying up to date with all things MCC, with all the links that we have for y'all. And make sure that you're tuning in whenever we're popping up, whenever you see the notification, just give it a quick check, even if it's not, your college or the team that you're rooting for. We got wonderful Rocket League for you guys. So make sure that in the future you stop on by.
Yeah, 100%. And one last thing, these final 2 weeks, teams are getting eliminated. Teams are getting secured. You really want to show up. Tiebreakers and everything are happening.